remember that they're changing my voice. One core reason that we see everyone doing the wrong thing is that they've accepted the light of the occult, right? Instead of the light of morally precise justice from God. Just like with King Solomon judging Jesus, saying, why don't you judge for yourselves what is right, and so on and so forth. It's universal, pinpointed moral precision. You didn't do God justice, you didn't do me justice, you didn't do your family's justice. You just are cult of the flesh, trying to survive, trying to help your family survive. That's all you care about, like a beast. That's an animal. That's the mark of the beast, the mark of an animal. There's no other way to look at it. I'm going to hit you with some quick occult wordplay. I despise the occult, but it makes it clear that that's what's going on. When you couple it with what you know already, it brings some clarity to the situation. So we see Crete is where it's an island by Greece where King Minos is said to have be the father of homosexuality, right? Concrete, right? Concrete jungle, right? So the con and the Crete, right? So the LGBT, white supremacy, kind of Semitic, kind of Jewish, kind of that area, right? Canaanite, Cretans, all these homosexuals who were Semitics in the area who rose to power through the West. When the followers of Baal, aligned themselves, to peoples over there in Greece, that's where Zeus comes from Baal, right? And ultimately from Africa. And these people worship the devil, and they bred with all the Europeans and all the people they could possibly breed with, and they got everybody to have their inclinations to serve the devil, right? So you get the concrete jungle, right? Concrete on the ground, okay, on the road. And the word road is a play on words for ra-do and ra-odd, right? They want everyone to do what is odd, okay? Like a demon, for example, scrambled his odd men, right? They say Satan's the god of this world, right? And obviously he was offering Jesus the kings of the world, so the massive civilizations, empires, Rome, the English, America, etc. Obviously, very, 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 very satanic, okay? So they paved the way, right? The way for what? For the devil, okay? Obviously, every group outside the martial art order was already evil. But the most evil types of people took over the world when we look at it from the biblical perspective of Satan being the god of the world. Therefore, the power centers are more intensely evil than the other places in the world, basically. So you see the stop sign. The word stop has the word top in it, right? Stop, and it's top, and pots, right? Pots, put, right? No one lights a lamp and puts it under a bowl or a bushel, right? A bowl is a sort of a pot-like, item. So, obviously you see that they want to prevent things. And of course the word pots is like the word pops for a reason, right? And of course you have the witch's kettle, the witch's pot, what have you. And when you think about it, even if you don't believe the wordplay, these ideas are connected, okay? I'd love to see some dickhead argue that this is not how the masses of power-hungry scumbags think. It is. So we see the sign says share the road, right? Share, right? Are, right? Who you are. Right? God revealed himself to Moses. I am who I am. I am that I am. I am what I will be. And you get She-Ra, right? The females from the cult of Ra in Egypt were probably among the most beautiful in the world. I don't know. Okay, but certainly they were sought after because of sex, money, power, whatever drugs they had at the time, what have you. Okay. Now there's a difference between the cult of Ra and people who follow the idea that Ra, as the later cults would superimpose Ra on the idea of God, right? Who God actually is. Ra is a play on words for R. Okay? Ra backwards is A-R without the E, R. Okay? So again, it goes back to the lanes, right? The lanes on the road, the Ra-do, right? El, the Canaanite deity. Canaanites, a bunch of homosexuals. Okay, Canaanite Phoenicians, the Phoenix bird of Egypt, right? Homosexual stuff where gays in Greece and, did I say the Phoenix bird of Greece? The Phoenix bird of Greece, okay? And so on and so forth. Okay, so you got the lane, you got the stop sign, okay, you got the road, okay, and it's made of concrete, okay, pretty straightforward, right? The path. The Bible says the path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter to the full light of day. And I walk in the way of righteousness along the paths of justice, and so on and so forth. The path that one takes is very key. The Lord weighs the motives, and you have to be on the right path. The way, the truth, and the life. And they talk about Yahweh. Yah is the moon deity, sin, okay, basically. And it's not the true name for God. In fact, there is no name that's the true name for God. The name for God is something that humans aren't able to speak. Okay, it's something that you just know, right? There is no speech related name. There's just communication related name, right? God communicating who he is, what to name him, okay, without you being able to put a word to it, because no word is worthy. So, and the closest thing to it has to do with the martial art Ki-Up. Now, preventing me from saying the name of God, that's like cutting out, the most powerful man. It's worse than cutting out the most powerful man in the world's, his son's tongue. How the fuck does that help you out? You know what I'm saying? You're in a world of fucking shit, you idiots. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't help you out. So, these people, when we talk about witches, we are talking stupid people here. Stupid. Okay? It's hard to imagine anyone dumber than a witch. A gay witch, a female witch, a little girl witch, you name it, old person. Magic? How many of you think Houdini is greater than Bruce Lee, for example? Bruce Lee is just an agnostic movie star. You see what I'm saying? That does martial arts, in a way that is profane, with no higher cause. Dumb enough to do martial arts with no higher cause. That's dumb. But we think of him as greater than any magician that ever was. Okay, magicians are like fucking, someone who submits to a homosexual in the pen, the first sign of trouble, right? We don't have a high respect for them. You know what I'm saying? They're basically bitches. So are chemists, if they have no higher cause. They're just a coward with a chemistry kit. They may as well be a tea-time bitch. You see what I'm saying? And so that is the problem. That's why witch rhymes with bitch. And I can't emphasize that enough. Okay, if you think I'm being too harsh, explain why. You think what they're doing, their part in all the horrible stuff that goes on, starving kids and shit. Hansel and Gretel ain't got shit on what the modern witch is a part of. 3 million children starve to death a year. 1 in 4 little girls is molested by the time she's 18. Does that mean she should be a fucking witch and throw in the towel and start sucking her oppressor's dick and her oppressor's kids' dicks? And fucking outrageous. Fucking stupid. If you get victimized, you then join the fucking devil and start acting like a bitch? What kind of bitch-ass genes would do that? I gotta explain this. And so, by now you should know definitively that these worms will never be equal to fucking, some hair off my head that I cut and threw in the trash, right? They're just scum. Okay, remember they're changing my voice. If you were focused, intense, masculine, not in the modern kind of LGBT masculine way, but an old, misunderstood by people these days, African masculine way. And there's a bunch of smug witches everywhere, a bunch of emasculated guys with no heart who just roll with the New World Order. Would you be mad at them? When people actually believe in witchcraft, and the people who don't know that their culture is witchcraft, which I imagine there's not many of them, because it's pretty out there these days, those people are in cultures that are basically witchcraft cultures. Even, look at pharmacology, the drug trade, that, start off as witchcraft, but it's witchcraft, right? The one who's just trying to cure things, or some people trying to sabotage people, trying to be all smart. Witches are, and no offense to anyone per se in this video, for the sake of the rules, but witches are bitches. Is there any other way to look at it? Everyone should stop doing what they're doing. Okay? You people are sick in the head. The fact that you run mental health and try to pretend everyone else is sick or something, and not you. I mean, other people are sick, but you people are among the most sick. Okay? You think that the witch in the story Hansel and Gretel was the protagonist or something? You think Maleficent? You people are fucked in the head. Even if that's not what you think, it may as well be what you think because of what you're doing. I see your little pictures everywhere I go, your little smug looks, kind of like Queen Elizabeth. She was a witch, in her own right. Smug looks. It works for you. 600,000 homeless in America works for you. 3 million children starving to death a year all over the world, that works for you. Well, newsflash, if you don't like it, you're part of the witchcraft that makes it happen. That cruelty, that witch cruelty, that gender neutral witch cruelty that just lays people to waste, right? Waste set, right? Waste. A magic spell. Okay? I hope you people are real fucking smug, you know? So you see that, they're crazy. It's like Columbus, in Columbia Pictures. It's basically pagan goddesses are basically witches. Divas are basically witches. They're variations, forms. There's degrees of it, the spectrum. It's pretty straightforward. I don't respect them at all. Never have, never will. I don't respect the cocky crest wearing guys, the guys in business suits who think that if they sabotage me, then somehow they look better. It's fucking retarded. Never forget, some rich bitches got together, with all the governments, police, military, intelligence agencies, and they said that they're going to do it this way. And they formed all these cults to help them do it. Different gangs, corporate groups, political groups, So place the blame where it belongs. Be disgusted first and foremost with the governing class and everyone else. Because they rolled with it like complete bitch. That's why witch rhymes with bitch. They switched from being a normal human to being a complete witch bitch. Bitchcraft. They bitched up.